Well, I'm just coming up to Tewkesbury Abbey, and along here, I'm not going to do a huge amount of commentary. I'll probably put a lot of notes underneath. So I'll do some research when I get back, because I've literally just come into this place. I know nothing about it, apart from the fact it's in Tewkesbury. But what a magnificent building. Absolutely fabulous. Now this is the general entrance here. But look at this. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that beautiful? The grounds are beautifully looked after. I'm just going to have a little wander up to the doorway, and then we'll have a walk around the side the best we can. We've got some kids playing up on the grass at the side, and lots of people sitting out in the sunshine on the seats. It's a very relaxing place, actually. It's gorgeous. Now here's Abbey House. And let's just have a little look up the side of this building. We'll have a wander. And let's see what we can see. We'll look up. Just get into by the doorway, because this is a beautiful doorway. So we get the frame properly in there. And then we just look straight up. What an amazing building. And back down at the doorway again. Now this is one of the main doors into the Abbey, but there's a little doorway at the side. Let's see what's down this path. Let's do a bit of exploring. We always find the exploring bits are the best parts of these. Tewkesbury is in Gloucestershire, which is in the southwest of the UK, just a little way behind, a little bit way below Birmingham, for those of you not here. But it's absolutely beautiful. It's we've travelled down. It's about 30 miles away from where we are staying in Worcester. Now, what I love about this part of the country, there are some absolutely gorgeous pieces of architecture. You'll see it on the stills. I've got some stills to show you towards the end, where I've been to Worcester and Great Malvern, and also some stills from Tewkesbury here. But it looks like there's some restoration work taking place around it. It's been cleaned up, these stones, and an awful lot of these churches and abbeys and things are having a lot of restoration work done. Over the years of pollution and things, the brickwork turned dark and was damaged somewhat, but a lot of these are now being really cleaned up and made to look beautiful. For those of you interested, this is my Osmo 3, Osmo Pocket 3 I should say, but this is using the internal mics, so I've got no idea how the sound's going to work out, but you know what, I'm just going for it anyway. Now I'm going to avoid walking on the grass. There's another lovely little doorway in here. All sorts of these little stone relics to see as you walk around buildings like this. So go past the Garden of Remembrance and onto the grass at the back. So let's just take a little walk towards the gate there. This is absolutely idyllic. If you're from the UK and you've never been to Gloucestershire or this sort of area, the southwest, basically from the south of Birmingham all the way down to beyond Bristol, I think is gorgeous. And the M4 corridor as you go to Swindon and Cheltenham Absolutely well worth visiting. I just noticed there's a caravan and motorhome club site just across from the water here. But this is the sort of architecture and this is the sort of thing you see. And let's swing around to the Abbey again and have a little look up at that fabulous tower at the top. Do you know what? I'm going to circumvent the Abbey with this. I'm actually going to do a full video walking around the Abbey. There's some beautiful little gardens just up there as well, actually. I don't know if you can see them on here, but I'll try and zoom in. I'll do a digital zoom and see if you can see that path for the gardens there. And zoom out again. And we'll pull back past the Abbey. Let's have a little wander around. The other thing you see on old buildings like this is all the little places where there's been adjustments mid over the years, getting rid of doorways and things like that. Let's just have a little zoom into here and have a look. You can see what happens. The Abbey's changed, and where you had a doorway, it's now been stone over. Unfortunately, on all these buildings, they have either plastic or steel mesh over the windows these days for protection. Partly from the elements, but partly from, shall we say, some less respectful people. So as I say, this is absolutely idyllic. And it's just somewhere nice just to sit out and take in the peaceful piece of the lovely little market town, Tewkesbury. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now from the inside, these windows must be absolutely fantastic because they look gorgeous on the outside, but when you get the light from behind, church windows come alive. They really do. And most church windows will tell stories, either biblical stories or they'll tell stories about the environment where they're from. And if you take the time to actually look at them and do some research, you can get some fabulous information. Just going to take this little windy path through here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see this. Let's give it a go if I can zoom in. I don't know if you can see that little bee. Carry on around the path, and we'll come to the frontispiece. Not really the frontispiece. No, it's an end of the church. It's a side of the church. Again, let's have a little look. And again, absolutely stunning. You can just see the tower at the top. So as I say, what I'll do is I'll put some notes in as we go about the Abbey. I'm presuming I can get through this way. I don't like walking on the grass. I've never liked walking on the grass in churches. It always seems somewhat disrespectful, but the path is taking me miles away. Well, there's the bell for 2 o'clock. I presume you could hear that on the microphones. Now what also comes over very decorative are some of these arches, but these arches are integral to the structure. They spread the load. You've got thousands of tons of stone being held up by the ground there, but that force needs to be distributed somewhere. So what you tend to find, you have these archways, and you can see the archway across the top onto a buttress, but that actually spreads the load, so it takes some of the weight of that huge building and puts it out to the side. It's almost like a stabilizer. You know, I say quite often that my photography is as much for therapy as it is for taking photographs. Quite often I'll take a camera out and I won't take any photographs. Why do I have to litter? That annoys me. But quite often I'll take a camera out and I won't actually take any photographs, but I'll go into situations where I'll see magnificent things like this and I get the chance to photograph them or even just look at them and see the splendour. I mean, these things are centuries old. Absolutely centuries old. They've seen war, they've seen famines, they've seen peace, they've seen happiness, weddings, births, deaths, all sorts of things. But they're still here. So I can get that sunshine out of the way. Still here as a testament to all the people, all the times, all the things that have happened in this little area. And I think that's absolutely fabulous. I think it's absolutely fascinating. There's another one of those arches. You can see, let's see if I can zoom in on that arch. And you'll see how that arch will actually carry on through the centre of the church and out the other side. And you can see that the pressure is spread out sideways rather than vertically down. And it goes through those buttresses. So the buttress at the side, and on the other side too, will actually spread the load, giving a much more stable building. And that's part of the reason that these places are still here after all these years. So another little look up that fabulous clock tower. It's peeking out through the top against that lovely sky. A few clouds in the sky, but really quite nice. As we come down into this stonework, you can see why stonemasons were so important to our history and why they have a significant place still. When you get some of the, when you consider these were made hundreds of years ago by people by hand, not on just, I'm just going to let the gentleman pass, not using fancy power tools that we have today, but everything carved by hand, and the accuracy of things and the beautiful detail that you have is just amazing. And to some people this was a lifetime's work. You know, some of these churches were actually started before someone was born and were finished after they died. And that whole person as a stonemason may have been dedicated to making one of these churches. So yes, this is the Abbey of Tewkesbury. We've done a full little walk around the front. We're going to have a little wander back. I hope you've enjoyed it. As I say, I'll put some details up underneath. There are some photographs to follow from Worcester, Great Malvern and Tewkesbury. But yeah, please like and subscribe if you can. It really does help the channel to spread out to more and more people. It is vitally important the way that YouTube's algorithms work to get a small channel to be a larger one. And these wonderful people who are appearing on the screen now are my YouTube subscribers. No, they're not. They're my Patreon patrons. I knew they were. Most of them are subscribers. But these are my Patreon patrons. And without them, and without the people who click the link, the PayPal link to buy me a cup of coffee, this channel wouldn't be able to pay for itself. It doesn't pay for itself anyway. But you know what I mean. It keeps me happy. And hopefully it keeps you happy too. So, as I go back to Mrs. 4/3, who's got the two dogs, we'll go through the gates of Tewkesbury Abbey, maybe swing around, take one last look, and all I'll say is keep on taking your camera out, keep on having fun with your photography, keep watching for those photographs which are coming in a second, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.